Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another fabulous Power to Fly Chat and Learn event. My name is Meg Alexander, and I am, as always, honored and excited to get to host another fabulous Power to Fly event for all of you. I'm going to go into some quick housekeeping and let y'all know how you can participate. But just bear with us. If you are a frequent flyer with us, this will be a little bit repetitive, but just hang tight for a sec. If this is maybe your first Power to Fly event, welcome. Hi, we're so happy to meet you today. Now, even if you're one of our frequent flyers, the love is still real for y'all. Thank you so much for joining us today. But if it's your first time here and you're unsure how this is all going to go, let me give you kind of the lay of the land. So for all of our virtual events, these are all about you, all right? It's about our audience members and making sure that you all get the value that you came to get from today's event. So you can do that in a couple different ways. You are always encouraged to participate with your cameras if you'd like. If you want to turn your cameras on, share your smiling, maskless faces with us safely, it's very much encouraged and we'd love to see it. But really, y'all, we do not care if you are coming to us from a corner office or your living room couch. You can be in, I think I'm on day 4 of the messy bun dry shampoo combination, or you could be in a 3-piece suit. Truly, y'all, we don't care. We want to meet you where you are. So please feel free to turn your cameras on if you'd like to participate that way. If not, you are always welcome to participate in the chat. So to get us moving and encourage y'all to dive in there, please feel free to go over to the group chat in Zoom and let us know where you're joining us from. I'm coming to you from Toledo, Ohio. This is land that belonged to the Kickapoo, Fox, and Potawatomi tribes in my area. So if you'd like to share where you're joining us from or whose land you're on, please feel free to share in the chat there. Now, like I said, for our new joiners, the thing that you should know is that all of our sessions are recorded. So that means that you don't have to take notes. You can just sit back and relax and enjoy the upcoming conversation. We'll be live streaming to our YouTube channel as well. So hi, YouTube. And we will be posting this video within about, usually gets posted to our YouTube channel within about 5 to 15 minutes at the end of the live stream. And then these videos are also posted, the recordings are posted to our website, powertofly.com, usually within about like 2 to 4 business days, just kind of depends on how fast we're moving around here. But what that means is whether you are hanging out here for 5 minutes or you're able to stay for the full 60, doesn't matter. As long as you registered, you are going to get an email from Power to Fly when we post this recording on our website. Now, like I said, if you want to share or spread the message sooner, you do not have to wait until that email goes out. You can always check out our YouTube channel to take a look at this video and share it even sooner. There is a huge section of our archive of our past chats, past events on our YouTube channel. I'll be sharing links for all of this in the chat thread as we go. But I also recommend you check us out on powertofly.com. There is a huge archive. We're talking everything from the very first Lunch and Learn hosted by Lauren Haggerty up through today. Everything that we've got, our whole archive is there, ready and available for all of you to use. Now, if you are here with us and you're spending time with Power to Fly, odds are you also believe in our mission, right? You also want to see true gender equity in the workforce. You want to see pay equity across workplaces. If this is something that is also, goals that are near and dear to your heart, then we hope that you will help us in our mission, right? So we think that we're going to move the needle here and help as many people as we can by getting our resources into the hands of as many people as possible. So if you'd like to support us in that, please feel free to take photos or video as we go. Feel free to let your social media network know that you are learning with Power to Fly. You can tag us. We are at Power to Fly on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And you can also use our hashtag Power to Fly anywhere. We would love to share, reshare, tweet, retweet, post, repost, whatever it is y'all want to share about us out into the rest of the world. Truly anything we can do to get these resources in the hands of as many people as possible. That's how we feel we're going to move move that goal line and move towards our mission in the workplaces. So if you would like to help us with that, we would love to see it. Now, like I said, if you have questions during the upcoming session, we would love to hear from you. So please feel free to add questions or comments into the group chat. If you wrote in a question and we're going over it, let us know. If you wrote in a question and you're not sure if we're going to get to it, share it in the chat again. If we're going over your question and there's more context that we should have, or we're not coming at your question from the right direction, let us know. You all took the time out of your day to be here and spend with us at Power to Fly, for which we are incredibly grateful. But that means that I want to make sure that you get the value you came to get from today's event. So like I said, ask early, ask often. That is how we're going to make sure that you get the answers you came to get from today's event. Now, as we are diving in, I'm very excited to introduce you to today's speaker. So Priscilla Uribe is joining us. Priscilla is a bilingual public affairs specialist with tax outreach, partnership, and education. Now, Priscilla specializes in partnering with national organizations that can benefit from tax information, especially for Spanish-speaking communities, as well as outside traditional tax communities. Now, Priscilla has been with the IRS since 2007 and has frequently contributed to Power to Fly, and we're so happy to have her back. Priscilla, thank you so much. Welcome to the stage. Is there anything else you think our audience should know about you before we dive in today?
No, I'm just really excited to be here with you guys, and it's a pleasure being here. And I'm happy that you are able to join us. This will be a great conversation / presentation about new parents and what credits you guys are able to claim if you're a new parent, along what resources you can use with that. So if you or anyone you know might benefit from this information, like Meg said, make sure you save, you share, and for the community and for people to know. So that's what I have.
I love it. All right, so Priscilla's going to kick us off with some slides and kind of walking us through a presentation. We're going to answer some questions that way. But if you have questions, please feel free to submit them. We will try to get to as many as we can once the presentation ends, if we haven't been able to cover your question during the presentation. So Priscilla, I'm going to turn the floor over to you. Take it away.
Great, thank you so much. So first, we're going to start off with the IRS has this specialized page for tax information for parents in irs.gov. And parents have a special tax situation and benefits. So this page is designed to help parents understand how this affects them and their taxes. So the page includes information about claiming dependents and filing status, the tax credits that there are available, education tax benefits, children's income for those parents that have kids working, modeling, doing stuff like that, and family caregivers and household employees. So if you have questions about any of those topics for new parents, feel free to go to that new parent dedicated page on irs.gov, and you can maneuver through everything. There's a lot of resources available for that. So that would be a great page for you to enter to start off with. So now let's go to the next slide. And we will take a closer look at some of these credits specifically. So the tax credit available for family, you may be familiar with the earned income tax credit. So, but let's talk about what it means for this current tax year, 2022. So for low to moderate income workers with family, with qualifying children, may be eligible to claim the Earned Income Tax Credit, the EITC. So if certain qualifying rules apply, we're talking about parents today, but for FYI, individuals may qualify for the EITC even if they cannot claim children on their tax return. So let's briefly review the basic qualifying rules. So to qualify for the EITC, and it shows here on the page, it might be too small to see, but I will kind of go over it. You must have worked and earned income under $59,187. You must have investment income below $10,300 in the tax year 2022. So it would be this year that just passed, but some of us are still filing returns. Have a valid Social Security number by the due date of the 2022 return, including extensions, which that would be in October. Be a U.S. citizen or resident alien all year. So to qualify for the EITC, you must be a resident alien or the U.S. citizen. Not file the form 2555, which is foreign earned income. So if you earned foreign income, you might not qualify. And meet certain rules if you are separated from your spouse and not filing a joint tax return. So one of the things that we really look at is for you to file joint with your spouse if you're married. So the maximum credits amounts are as follows. For no qualifying children, it's $560. For one qualifying child, it is $3,733. For two qualifying children, it is $3,733. And for three or more qualifying children, it is $6,935. So on this slide, you are able to see the publication 962, which is a wonderful resource to review, and it provides great overview of the EITC. So you will be able to see on this page that publication 962, and it describes and it writes everything down that you need to know for the EITC. So if you go to irs.gov, on the search box on the top, you could just type in publication 962, and it will give you all that great information. So now we're going to go into another credit on the next slide, that it's wonderful for the child tax credit. So that's another credit that you are able to claim. And it also helps families with qualifying children to get a tax break. So we all need that. So they may be able to claim the credit even if you do not normally file a return. So let's talk a little bit about who qualifies to claim that credit. So families can claim the child tax credit for each qualifying child who does not have have a social security number and is valid for employment in the United States. Again, has a valid social security number. So also to be qualifying child for the 2022 tax year, the dependent generally must be under the age of 17 years old by the end of the year, be a son, daughter, stepchild, eligible foster child, brother, sister, stepbrother, stepsister, and much more relationships that do qualify. They must provide no more than half of their own financial support during the year and have lived with you for more than half of the year. So if you have 6 months living with you, make sure it's like 6 months and a day to be able to qualify for that. Be properly claimed as a dependent on your tax return. So you should have them as a dependent on there. Not file a joint return with their spouse if they're married for the tax year, or file it only to claim a refund of withheld income tax or estimated tax payment. And the last one is have been a U.S. citizen, U.S. national, and U.S. resident alien. So it's for both of the credits. That's one of the qualifications that's needed. Families qualify for the full amount of the 2022 child tax credit for each qualifying child if they meet all the eligibility factors and their annual income is not more than $200,000 if you're single, or $400,000 if you're married and filing joint. So for 2022, the initial amount of the child tax credit is $2,000 for each qualifying child. The credit amount begins to phase out where modified adjusted gross income exceeds the amounts I just mentioned, which is $200,000 for single and $400,000 if you're married and filing joint. Parents and guardians with higher incomes may be eligible to claim a partial credit. So an easy way to check the availability is to use the interactive tax assistant tool on irs.gov. And I will explain a little bit later how that works, because this is a great tool to use and it's extremely useful. And me, myself, I definitely need to use that. So on the next slide, we will be discussing a reminder for those who have low and no income eligible individuals and families that normally don't file a tax return. So these credits is just a little reminder that you are still able to claim some amount of money. So it's not too late to claim pandemic-related tax benefits that may not have previously received or claimed on your tax return, such as the 2021 Enhanced Child Tax Credit and the 2020 and 2021 Recovery Rebate Credit in lieu of the economic impact payments. So an eligible family of 2 adults and 2 young children could receive up to $18,600 in combined refundable credits for 2020 and 2021. So that's a lot of money just sitting on the table for you to let go. So the IRS attempted to contact more than 9 million individuals and families last fall about these unclaimed credits. So please help us spread the word. It is very important for this money to not be let off real easy. So on the next slide, we will be discussing and showing here a couple of publications that are very important as well. So the publication 5486A advises that for those eligible to claim the 2020 Recovery Rebate Credit, you must file a tax return, and remember this date, May 17, 2024, to claim the credit. If you are eligible to claim the 2021 Recovery Rebate Credit, you must file a return by April 18, 2025 to claim it. And the publication 5534H explains that those eligible to claim the 2021 child tax credit must file a tax return by April 15, 2025. So both of these publications, as shown on our slide, are available in English, in Spanish, and Chinese simplified. So again, these publications are a wonderful resource for you to access and review. If you do not remember these dates that I just mentioned, you could go to irs.gov, input that publication, the 5486A and the publication 5534H. It will give you those dates and it'll give you much more information that I am not mentioning here due to time. All right, so on the next slide, for those parents who are paying for child care. So this is very important, especially for me, as I just had a child and I'm having to pay for someone to take care of the baby. It's very important, and we all need this information. So you may qualify for the Child and Dependent Care Credit. So if you paid someone to care for their child or other qualifying person, and Meg, if you would like to change the slide, that way they can see for the Child and Dependent Care Credit. Thank you so much. So if you pay for someone to take care of your child, for you and your spouse, if you're filing jointly, you could to look for work or anything like that, you may be able to take this credit, and the credit may reduce the federal income tax on your return. So this is a great information, great news. So you may ask, who is eligible to claim the credit? So as I mentioned earlier, those who paid expenses for the care of a qualifying individual to enable them, you or your spouse, to work or actively look for work. For those who live in the United States for more than half of the year, however, keep in mind that some rules do apply to some military personnel stationed outside of the US. And again, you could go to this publication, and it's a wonderful publication that would give you that information. So who qualifies for the credit? So generally, a qualifying person is a dependent that's under the age of 13, a spouse or dependent of any age who is incapable of self-care and who lives with you for more than half of the year. So those are the only requirements needed. So how is the credit calculated, you may ask? So the credit is calculated based on your income and a percentage of expenses that you incur for the care of the qualifying person to enable you to go to work, look for school, and even attend school. So the total expenses that you may use to calculate the credit may not be more than $3,000 for one qualifying individual or $6,000 for two or more qualifying individuals. If a client received dependent care benefits that they exclude or deducted from their income, they must subtract the amount of those benefits from the dollar limit that applies to them. So an easy resource, again, to share for new parents, it's that publication 5789. And again, go to irs.gov, and it highlights the eligibility and it has links. And as you can see here on this slide, there is an informational video that can give you more information on how to calculate it, how to claim, who qualifies, all those good stuff. I know it could be a little bit confusing and hard, but we will try to make it easy for you. So on the next slide, now that we've talked about the three key credits for families, but how can taxpayers explore their eligibility for these credits? So earlier I mentioned about this amazing tool. Megan, we could change the slide. Thank you. Sorry about that. So the interactive tax assistance is a tool that provides answers to several tax law questions specific to your individual circumstances. Based on your input, it can determine if you have to file a tax return, your filing status if you can claim a dependent, if the type of income you have is taxable, and if you're eligible to claim a credit like the child tax credit, the child and dependent care credit, and the earned income tax credit, as we previously discussed, or if you can even deduct an expense. So again, this ITA tool, the interactive tax assistance, it's a 10 out of 10. I truly recommend it. So the information, this is what's even more wonderful, you provide is anonymous and will be used only for the purposes of answering your question. It will not be stored, it will not be shared or used in any other way to identify whoever enters it. So it will be discarded as soon as you click that little X on the top of the screen. So do not worry, and it's a great tool to use. So on the next slide, you will see the actual example of what the ITA looks like, the interactive tax assistance tool. So this is exactly what it looks like. And this is an example if it tells you if you need to file a tax return. So you click on what type of assistance you're needing and the year that you're requesting, and then it will ask you several other questions. And again, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. I love it. So you will have fun using this one. So now on the next slide, to wrap this up, there is a tool available specifically to help determine eligibility for the Earned Income Tax Credit. So the Earned Income Tax Credit is also available in Spanish. So for those Spanish speakers, the Earned Income Tax Assistance tool can be used to find out if you're eligible for the EITC, if you have any qualifying children or relatives, the estimated amount of your credit, and your filing status. If you can change slide, Meg, thank you so much. And this is where it shows. So you could go to www.irs.gov /EITC assistant. So again, this will provide you the rules, the qualifications, the deadlines, anything that you need. This is a great tool to also access it. And lastly, here is what the EITC assistant tool looks like on irs.gov. And we could go to the next slide, Meg. It explains how the tool works and what you need to use it and how you need to use it. So if you could see here, I know it's a little bit too small, but it's a wonderful tool. Again, it gives you all the information that's necessary. So that wraps my presentation for today. And if you guys have any questions, write them on the chat box, and I turn it over to Meg.
Thank you so much, Priscilla. This was absolutely fascinating and so much information that I had no idea even existed. So thank you so much. One of the things that I did want to ask, so we haven't gotten any questions in the chat. If y'all have ones that you want to submit, please feel free. But one of the questions that I really love to ask people, especially when we have a subject matter like this, what is something that people never ask about that you're constantly shocked? Like nobody ever wants to know about blah, 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 blah. So I never get a chance to talk about it.
That's a great question. And that comes usually, well, as my area of expertise also, and I specialize with also helping a lot of the Spanish community. It's about the ITINs in relation to claiming some credit. And some people are scared of asking about the ITINs, which ITINs is if you do not have a valid social security number, the IRS assigns one only for the purposes of filing your return. So some people that do have that ITIN and do not have a social security number, they're sometimes scared to ask IRS, hey, am I able to claim this, or am I able to use it for something else? And unfortunately, the majority of these credits are not for people that if they have an I-10. But if you become a resident alien and or a U.S. citizen, you definitely are able to claim those credits. So that I see that so much of people being a little bit nervous of asking that.
No, I think that's a good one. And I really appreciate that, that this presentation was put together from that first time parent perspective, because, one of my besties just had her first kid a year and a half ago, and we're all just sort of, we're not raising the kid, but we're all watching her go through this. Yeah. And so she'll say something and be like, oh yeah, and did you know you have to register them for blah, blah, blah? And I just look at her and I'm like, I don't understand how they don't leave you. Like, they don't give you a manual. They don't give you a checklist when you leave the hospital. So I love that this is all from that first time parent perspective, because like there's so much stuff you would have no idea, and taxes are already complicated enough, right?
Exactly.
Like it already feels like weird magic. Like you're not supposed to ask about it. You're supposed to already understand how it works, but like but no one does, right?
Yeah, and we want to be here to help you guys out and make things a little bit easier. And I know it's not like 100%, but at least to help you guys out. And I know even now, maybe you can't think of a question to ask, but this video will be saved here on Power to Fly. So if you guys think of a question later on, you guys want to write it down, and then I could come back and try to help you guys out with the answer if possible. But again, I do appreciate it. And me being a first-time parent as well, I just had a baby. This touched me because I've been working here for over 17 years. And trust me, there's so much information that I still do not know. And I feel like it's important for us to know that it's out there for you to claim. It's out there for you to get money. The government's offering it for you. So why not take advantage of it, right?
Heck yeah. They don't do that often. So if they're offering it, please, like on behalf of myself and a lot of other child free by choice people, please take the credits. None of us are going to get them. So please.
Absolutely.
All right. The last question I have for you. If people only remember one thing before they leave here today, what do you want that one thing to be?
I would like for you guys to remember that ITA tool, the interactive tax assistance tool. Oh my goodness, that is magical. If you guys want to tell your brother, your sister, your friends, Spread the word. It is a great tool for you to use. It gives you all the information, especially because, again, each credit has different qualifications. So it's hard to remember all of them. So if you need specific information for you, go to the ITA tool on irs.gov. It's wonderful. Just type in what year you're looking for, what is the type of assistance you're needing, and it will trust me, it will answer all your questions. It will not leave you in the dark.
Yes, love to hear about it. All right, that is going to bring us to the end of today's event. But like Priscilla said, this recording is going to be available on our YouTube channel as well as here on powerfly.com. So you'll be able to reference this and access it whenever y'all like. Just make sure you have your active Power to Fly account. That's, literally all you need. Free account. That's all you need to get access to all of these videos. Priscilla, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us here today. It's been really great to learn from you. And just, we're so happy to have had you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me again. You guys have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. All right, y'all, that's going to bring us to the end of time. If this was your first Power to Fly event, thank you so much for joining us. I hope it won't be your last. If you're one of our frequent flyers, we look forward to seeing you on our next fabulous Power to Fly event. Have a safe, happy, healthy rest of your day, week, and weekend.